Mr. Bennet! Oh, my dear Mr. Bennet, have you heard? The great house at Netherfield has been rented at last.
Has it indeed?
Yes, Lady Lucas was just here to tell me all about it. Well, don't you want to know who has taken it?
You want to tell me, and I have no objection to hearing.
Oh, my dear, it has been taken by a single young man of large fortune.
What is his name?
Mr. Charles Bingley.
Single, you say?
Oh, single to be sure, with a retinue of servants and £5,000 a year. Oh, what a fine thing for our girls.
Oh, how can it affect them?
Well, my dear, you must know I'm thinking of him marrying one of them.
Is that his object?
Well, nonsense, but he certainly could fall in love with one of them. Therefore, it's important that you go and visit him at the earliest possible moment.
You and the girls may go, or you may send them by themselves. Yes, that would perhaps be better, for you're as handsome as any of them, and he might like you the best of the party.
Well, I've certainly had my share of beauty, but I don't pretend to be anything extraordinary now. When a woman has 5 grown daughters, she should give over thinking of her own beauty.
Very likely.
But dear, you must call on him at once, because Sir William and Lady Lucas are going to call on him on behalf of their Charlotte, that mousy little thing. Consider your own daughters and what a fine establishment it would be for one of them. Only we can't go unless you visit first.
You're over-scrupulous, my dear. I dare say Mr. Bingley will be glad to receive you. I shall send along a short note assuring him of my hearty consent to his marrying whichever of the girls he chooses. Although I must throw in a good word for my Lizzie.
Oh, you'll do no such thing. Lizzie is no better than the others. She's not half as pretty as Jane or half as good-humored as Lydia. You're always giving preference to Lizzie.
Well, they have, none of them, much to recommend them.
How can you abuse your children? Oh, you delight in vexing me. You have no consideration for my poor nerves.
You mistake me, my dear. I have a high respect for your nerves. They are my old friends. I have heard you mention them these 23 years.
You don't know how I suffer.
You will get over it and live to see many a wealthy young man come into the neighborhood.
It won't matter if 20 such men come into the neighborhood, for you won't go and visit.
Depend on it, my dear. When there are 20, I will visit them all.
Girls! Girls, come down quickly! I have great good news for you!
Yes, Mom?
News, did you say?
Has one of the military made an offer for Lydia?
Oh, Elizabeth, don't be ridiculous. Lizzie is only 15.
La, Mama! But I shall be 16 soon, and Colonel Foster thought I was 17. Kitty heard him say so. That's true, Mama. I heard him.
Kitty, please, don't cough, and don't all of you talk at once. Have pity on my poor nerves.
And Mrs. Foster says I'm very mature for my age.
Well, my dear, you will be 17 one day, I'm sure. And Mr. Bingley...
Do you mean Mr. Wickham, Mama? The new officer is named Lieutenant Wickham.
No, dear, I'm not talking about one of your officers. I'm talking about Mr. Bingley of Netherfield Park.
Netherfield Park? Has someone rented Netherfield Park at last?
Yes, girls, what do you think of that? Netherfield has been rented by a rich young man. Lady Lucas was just here to tell me all about it.
Did she see him, Mama? Is he handsome?
All young men of large fortune are handsome, Lydia.
He came down yesterday in a chaise and four.
Oh, in a chaise and four, they are particularly handsome.
This is splendid news!
Dear, I told you not to cough.
Kitty has no discretion in her coughs. She times them ill.
I don't cough for my own amusement, Papa.
Pray don't do it for mine.
He must be a very grand young gentleman. Netherfield Park is considered the showplace of the country.
He was so desirous of it that he insisted on taking it at once. Only we may never meet him because your father selfishly refuses to call on him.
Oh, Papa, how could you be so heartless?
He'd make a perfect husband for you, Jane. I just feel it in my bones. But you might as well give up hope. Your father selfishly refuses to call and just insists on neglecting his daughters. I shall not say another word.
Your mother has finished speaking. Now, Kitty, you may cough to your heart's content. You don't seem too upset, Jane, at the loss of a perfect husband?
Oh, no, Papa.
Have you finished trimming your bonnet?
Yes, Papa.
I dare say Mr. Bingley will like it.
We have no way of knowing what Mr. Bingley would like.
You forget, Mamma, that we shall see him at the next assembly ball, and Lady Lucas can introduce us.
Oh, she will do no such thing. She has her own daughter to be concerned about, and Charlotte will soon be 27. What was Sir William before he was knighted? Nothing but a common cheesemonger. And Lady Lucas is a selfish, hypocritical woman. I have no opinion of her.
No more have I. I'm glad to hear you say that.
Assemblies and cotillions have no charms for me, although they are congenial to the generality of female minds. But is it certain Mr. Bingley will attend the ball?
Mr. Bingley. I'm sick of Mr. Bingley.
Oh, what a pity. Just when we had such high hopes for him. What say you, Mary? You're a lady of deep reflection who reads books and copies off extracts. Would Charlotte Lucas make a suitable wife for a lively, blue-eyed young man with an amiable desire to please?
Beauty's in vain, their pretty eyes may roll, charms strike the sight, but merit wins the soul.
Well said, Mary.
And what have you been up to, Papa? Not all lively young men desire to please.
Not all young girls are as perceptive as Elizabeth.
Upon my word, I don't know what you're talking about.
And how did you know his eyes are blue? When did you call on him, sir, this morning?
You called at Netherfield, but you said you wouldn't.
Yes, Mamma, because he already had.
Did you hear that, Grace? Your father's called at Netherfield. Oh, how good of you, my dear. I knew I should persuade you. You love your daughters too much to neglect such an acquaintance.
Oh, now, Lizzie, you see what you've done.
Tell us, Papa, did you like him?
Which Jane? Which did you mean?
Why, Mr. Bingley, to be sure.
Oh, I thought perhaps you meant Mr. Darcy.
What? Is there another young man at Netherfield?
A friend of Mr. Bingley's?
Did you meet him? Is he gentlemanlike?
Oh, Mr. Darcy has 10,000 a year. One could hardly be more gentlemanlike than that.
10,000 a year and young. Oh, why should he not marry Jane?
Why ever should he now?
Well, Mr. Darcy may not be available. He may be related to Miss Bingley, committed to her too.
Oh, Miss Bingley. Don't tell me Mr. Bingley has a sister.
Well, she will be in need of female companionship. We certainly are the household to provide that. Now, Jane will marry Mr. Bingley, and Lydia marries her officer.
Papa!
Besides, if I can't count on Mr. Darcy for a son-in-law, there is another prospect in view. Yes, another young man will soon join the family party.
Someone's coming to stay here? Why haven't I been told?
You have just been told, my dear.
Are we to hear his name, sir?
Oh, your mother has repeatedly asked me not to mention that name in her presence.
Oh, not that odious creature. Don't tell me he has the impudence to come and visit us.
Who is it, Mamma?
Oh, that dreadful man, your second cousin, Mr. Collins, the male heir to this estate, who, because I was unfortunate enough to give only birth to daughters, will one day inherit this estate and turn us out as soon as your father is dead.
Let us be optimistic, my dear. I may outlive you all.
Oh, it's a wicked thing that an estate full of lovely young women could be turned away to a man who nobody likes.
If you'd only managed to vary your monotonous routine and produce a son, one would have been sufficient. Then the estate would never have been endangered. However, Mr. Collins is now a clergyman and feeling repentant about his inheritance.
When did he enter the clergy?
These are his words. Well, having been ordained last Easter, I have been distinguished by the patronage of Lady Catherine de Bourgh, whose beneficence has preferred to me the parish of Hunsford, where it should be my endeavour to perform those rites and ceremonies instituted by the Church of England.
Rites and ceremonies. In other words, he will christen, marry, and bury his parishioners.
I propose myself the satisfaction of trespassing on your hospitality on Monday, week next, and so forth.
Does he mention the inheritance?
Yes, he apologizes for it and offers to make amends.
Make amends? Well, that means that he may ask one of the girls to marry him. Oh, perhaps I've misjudged him. We'll put him in the south bedroom. You girls go upstairs and help the maid put the house in order.
Yes, Mamma. I don't fancy anything, gentlemen visitors. I infinitely prefer a good book.
Read the good book, Mary, or Fordyce's Sermons.
Yes, Papa. I have no wish to marry a clergyman. I much prefer the military. So do I. I think an officer looks uncommonly handsome in his regimentals, don't you? Did I tell you, Mamma? The new officer is named Lieutenant Wickham, and he's uncommonly handsome.
From their manner of speaking, our two youngest daughters are two of the silliest girls in the country.
Shame on you. If I was to speak abusively of someone, it wouldn't be about my own daughters.
If my children are foolish, I hope I shall always say so.
As a matter of fact, they're all quite very smart.
I differ so much as to think our two youngest daughters uncommonly foolish.
But when they're our age, they won't speak of officers any more than we do.
My dear, even before I reached our present age, I was never much one for officers.
I had an eye for a red coat when I was young. And if a smart young colonel of 4,000 a year would like one of my daughters, I shall not say nay.
While I've always believed that intelligence in a soldier is entirely optional, I would think that anyone who had risen to the rank of colonel would think twice before marrying Lydia.
Oh, law, Mr. Bennet, I shall not allow you to vex me. Oh, prospects are bright. Mr. Bingley will have to return our visit, and then we'll invite him to dinner. Oh, I wonder who he will ask to dance with first at the Assembly Ball. Well, Jane is the prettiest, and although Lydia is the youngest, she is the liveliest. Oh, if I could just see one of my daughters settled at Netherfield and all the rest equally well married, I shall have nothing more to wish for. And if, as you say, Mr. Darcy has been spoken for, well, perhaps Mr. Bingley knows other young men of 10,000 a year.
Now, Charlotte, my dear, what do you think of Mr. Bingley? Oh, a dashing and delightful fellow, and it's generally evident he does admire Jane. Darling Jane. What a contrast between him and his friend. I must say, I have no very cordial feelings for Mr. Darcy. Even a large estate and plenty of money cannot save him from having a most disagreeable countenance. And he speaks to no one except for those in his own party. I thought he looked in your direction. If he does it any more, I'll let him know what he's about. If I don't begin by being impertinent, I shall soon grow afraid of him. I must go in. I am engaged to dance with old Mr. Spew. Poor Charlotte. Well, I am obliged by the scarcity of gentlemen to sit down for this dance, and I shall be glad for the repose.
Come, Darcy. I hate to see you standing about by yourself in this stupid manner. You'd much better dance.
I certainly shall not dance. You know how I detest it unless I'm acquainted with my partner. Your sister is engaged, and there is not another woman in the room whom it wouldn't be a punishment to stand up with.
Upon my honor, I've never met with so many pleasant girls in my life. Several are remarkably pretty.
You've been dancing with the only handsome girl in the room.
Ah, Miss Jane Bennet. Isn't she handsome? Quite the most beautiful creature I ever beheld. One of her sisters is seated over there. She's very pretty and I dare say agreeable. Do let me introduce you.
Which do you mean? She's tolerable, but not handsome enough to tempt me. I'm in no humor to give consequence to young ladies who have to sit out the dance. You had better return to Miss Jane and enjoy her smiles.
Please yourself, Darcy.
Ah, Mr. Darcy. You remember me? Sir William Lucas. We met at Netherfield the other day. His punch is altogether tasty. What a charming amusement for young people. There's nothing like dancing. I consider it one of the first refinements of polished society.
It also has the advantage of being in vogue among the less polished societies of the world. Every savage can dance.
Ah, but you're an adept at the science yourself, Mr. Darcy. I saw you dance with Miss Bingley earlier in the evening. When in London, do you dance at St. James's Palace?
Never, sir.
Do you not think it is a compliment to the place?
It is a compliment which I never pay to any place if I can avoid it. I dislike dancing.
Pity. It's a fine palace, St. James's. I was knighted there. You have a house in town, I dare say. I've thought of fixing in town myself, for I am fond of superior society. But I did not feel that the air would agree with Lady Lucas. The fumes and congestion off the river, don't you know? My dear Miss Eliza, why are you not dancing? Mr. Darcy, you must allow me to present this young lady to you as a very desirable partner. You cannot refuse to dance, I'm sure. when so much beauty is before you.
Indeed, Sir William, I haven't the slightest intention of dancing. You mustn't think that I've risen in search of a partner.
May I beg to be allowed the honor of this dance?
No, sir. You may not beg it. I do not wish to dance.
Oh, come, Miss Eliza. You would disappoint me if you do not allow me to see you dance.
Mr. Darcy is all politeness.
He is indeed. But considering the inducement, we cannot wonder, my dear.
Mr. Darcy, sir, is like me, in that we only care to dance with our intimate friends. Indeed, we go so far as to refuse to meet a stranger until we are already acquainted with them.
I'm not sure I understand. If you haven't met a stranger, how can you become acquainted with him?
Mr. Darcy has the answer to that question. He will explain it to you. Your servant, gentlemen.
Ha ha! How amusing! That is Miss Elizabeth Bennet, a most intelligent young lady.
She seems very sensible and highly spirited.
Ah, here comes Lady Lucas, and with her Miss Bingley. Rumor informs me that she may someday be your bride.
Rumor has misinformed you, sir, as rumor so often does.
Indeed, sir. I meant no offense. Ah, Miss Bingley. I trust you're enjoying the assembly? I was just remarking to Mr. Darcy that there is nothing like dancing for bringing youth and beauty together.
Come, Sir William, we are engaged for a game of whist.
Could I beg you the favor of excusing me?
It is a favor, sir, I willingly grant.
Well, Darcy, I can guess the meaning of your rueful smile.
I think that most unlikely.
You are thinking how unbearable it would be to spend many evenings in such society. The vulgarity, the self-importance of these people.
My mind was more agreeably engaged. I was meditating on the pleasure which a pair of fine eyes in the face of a pretty young woman can bestow.
Ah, dare I guess the name of the lady?
I was thinking of Miss Elizabeth Bennet.
Miss Elizabeth Bennet? Has she caught your eye? And when, pray, am I to wish you joy?
Nothing travels so quick as a woman's imagination. It leaps from admiration to love, and from love to matrimony in an instant.
Nay, but she does have fine eyes, and if you're serious, I'll consider the matter settled. Have you met your mother-in-law-to-be?
Mrs. Bennet.
Such manners, such quality, such tact. Ugh! She tells me she has a brother who is in trade in London, and another who is a country attorney.
I had an uncle who was a judge. He associated with country attorneys every day.
The mother is intolerable, and the youngest sister's not worth speaking to. You're not serious.
In admiring Miss Bennet's eyes, believe me I am. But our romance has progressed no further than that.
I'm relieved to hear it. I know you're aware of your position.
It's not for myself, but for your brother Charles, whom you should be anxious.
Now you mean Miss Jane Bennet. They dance well together, but that is nothing.
I've heard that dancing is a certain step towards falling in love.
A charming girl, but he mustn't think of marrying her. You won't allow it, Darcy, promise me.
If you ask my opinion, you know what it will be, but even Charles couldn't fall in love that easily. There's only mutual admiration thus far.
As in the case of yourself and Miss Elizabeth.
I'm afraid that is not mutual. She overheard a careless remark I made. She has every reason to dislike me. But I still maintain she has fine eyes and a very pretty face.
Oh, Darcy, you exasperate me.
Come and let us join the dance. We don't want these people to think we're disdainful of their company.
He's a rogue, if ever there was one. Miss Bingley, Mr. Darcy, I have the honor to present Lieutenant Wickham of the militia. Lord, what a fishy face! Oh, I don't like him. You mustn't mind him. He's been that way since the cradle. Did you see Charlotte Lucas in her dress? The color was simply dreadful. She looked so shabby. Mr. Wickham, what a gentleman you are!
Here's to the Sergeant Major.
The Sergeant Major. Lydia! Kitty! Good evening, sister. Was there ever such a ball? Come on, Isn't Mr. Bingley so kind, So good-humored, everything a young man ought to be. He's also handsome, which a young man ought to be if he possibly can. I was flattered by his asking me to dance a second time. I didn't expect such a compliment. Compliments always take you by surprise. Me never. Why shouldn't Mr. Bingley ask you to dance a second time when he could see you were 5 times as pretty as any girl in the room? I can't help but like him. I give you leave to like him. You have liked many a stupider a person. Whatever do you mean? You're too apt to like people. You never see a fault in anyone. I always say honestly what I think. I know you do, and that's the wonder of it. You see the good in everyone's character and overlook the bad. You even like his sister, Miss Bingley. She's very agreeable, and I'm sure we'll find her a delightful neighbor. You will, Jane. She strikes me as a vain and supercilious person who thinks highly of herself and meanly of others. Since you think meanly of yourself and highly of others, you both should get along splendidly. She tells me that Mr. Darcy never speaks much except with his intimate acquaintances, but with them he is remarkably charming. Then we shall never know how charming Mr. Darcy can be. He is proud, to be sure. One can't be surprised that a fine young man with family and fortune shouldn't think highly of himself. He has every right to be proud. I could forgive him his pride had he not mortified mine. It was remiss of him to have said what he did about my Lizzie, but he didn't know you were there. He knew I was there. He just didn't know what exceptional hearing I have. Promise me, Lizzie, you won't show Mr. Darcy what a poor estimation of him you have. Dearest Jane, he wouldn't believe it possible if I did.
May I take your sister from you, Miss Elizabeth? Miss Jane, may I have the honor of this dance?
Mr. Wickham,
Yes, Miss Bennet?
you seem to be somewhat lacking in your usual gaiety. Is something troubling you?
Nothing of importance. Tell me, how long has Mr. Darcy been in this neighborhood?
Dear me, everyone is so concerned with Mr. Darcy. If you must know, he has come here with his friend, Mr. Bingley.
Then he is new to the neighborhood?
We only know that he is a man of property with a large estate in Derbyshire.
Yes, it is called Pemberley.
You know him, then?
Yes, to my sorrow, but I shan't say anything against him if he is your friend.
He's not a friend. We've exchanged only a few words, most of them unpleasant.
His father was the kindest and most generous man that ever breathed.
That in no way guarantees the character of the son.
I'll say nothing more. The subject is painful to me.
Mr. Wickham, my curiosity insists that you go on. What is the connection, I ask myself, between a landed gentleman of Derbyshire and an officer in the Hertfordshire militia?
I was not cut out for the military life. The late Mr. Darcy intended me to enter the clergy.
Are you telling me that you were brought up?
At Pemberley, yes. Darcy and I were boyhood companions. My father was the steward of the estate, and old Mr. Darcy was my godfather. He meant me to enter the church and left ample provision to secure me a parish.
Am I to understand the will was disregarded?
There was an informality in the terms of the bequest, and out of envy, young Darcy chose to ignore his father's wishes.
But how contemptible! He deserves to be publicly disgraced.
Someday he will be, but not by me, Miss Bennet. As long as I treasure the memory of the father, I'll not expose the son.
It's most forgiving in you, Mr. Wickham, to tolerate such injustice.
I am grateful for your sympathy. Will you join me for the last quadrille?
Oh, my dear, it was a most delightful evening. I wish you had been there. Jane was most admired, and Mr. Bingley thought her so beautiful that he danced with her 3 times. She was the only creature in the whole room that he danced with more than once. But first of all, there was Charlotte Lucas. I was so vexed when he stood up with her. And the next 2 with Jane, and the 4th with Miss King, and the 5th with Maria Lucas, and the 6th with
If
Jane.
he had any compassion for me, he would not have danced half so much. I wish he'd sprained his ankle in the first place.
Well, he's fond of dancing, and that's a very good sign. Oh, he is excessively handsome. And Miss Bingley is most engaging. Oh, I've never seen anything so beautiful as her dress. The lace alone...
Spare me the description of her finery.
He's promised to give a ball at Netherfield. As soon as his cook has made enough white soup, he's going to send out cards. Oh, as far as that Mr. Darcy, he doesn't do as well as for manners as his friend. Oh, he walked here and he walked there, thinking himself so great. He had the nerve to say that Lizzie was not handsome enough to dance with. Oh, she doesn't lose much by not suiting his fancy. He's a most horrid man. I wish you had been there to get one of your set-downs. I quite despise the man. I would not let him marry one of my girls if he came to me on bended knee.
So it was altogether a pleasant evening.
Oh, yes, my dear. Delightful.
Good night, Portia. Sweet dreams.
Good night, Eli.
In a letter I wrote this morning to pay my respects to my patroness, the Lady Catherine de Bourgh, I ventured to remark that the fame of your various daughters' beauty had fallen far short of the truth.
You're very fortunate in your patroness, Mr. Collins.
Yes, Mrs. Bennet, I have never in my life witnessed such behavior in a person of rank. She is all affability and condescension. My humble parsonage is separated only by a lane from her estate at Rosings Park. Lady Catherine has invited me to dine with her on more than one occasion. She speaks to me as if I were any other person. She's even condescended to advise me that I should marry as soon as I possibly can.
Oh, how considerate. It's a pity great ladies are not more like her. You mentioned that she was a widow. Does she have any family to console her?
She has one daughter, but Miss Anne de Bourgh is of delicate constitution which prevents her from being in London. That circumstance, as I told Lady Catherine, has deprived the British court of its brightest ornament.
Oh, you turn a pretty compliment, Mr. Collins.
Yes, it is my endeavor to offer those little complimentaries which are acceptable to ladies. I arrange them in advance, but I always try to give them with as unstudied an air as possible.
You mentioned that she advised you to marry. Did she have any particular young lady in mind?
Ah, Mrs. Bennet, that brings me to the subject on which I wish to consult you.
Yes, Mr. Collins.
I wish to make amends. I mean, for the injustice I seem to have done your daughters by inheriting Longbourn. I aspire to choose one of them as my bride.
Do go on.
Naturally, I thought the rights to Miss Jane, being the eldest, should be respected. But you give me to understand that she is to be engaged to Mr. Bingley?
Yes, I felt it incumbent to mention that. I wouldn't be surprised if the engagement were announced at Netherfield Saturday next.
It's really too bad. Well, since Miss Jane has an air of tranquility about her which would be most becoming in a parsonage.
I sympathize, Mr. Collins.
In that case, might I ask for your intercession with Miss Elizabeth? Might I seek a private interview with her sometime today?
Oh, my dear, yes. I'm sure Lizzie will be most gratified.
I beg your pardon, dear Mamma. Your pardon, Mr. Collins. I came to fetch my needlework. I shan't intrude a moment longer.
Lizzie, my dear, we were just now speaking of you. Household duties call me. My dear, I'd like for you to stay and talk to Mr. Collins. It's my belief he has something of importance to say to you.
Dear madam, do not go. Mr. Collins must excuse me, but he can have nothing to say to me that anybody need not hear. I'm going away myself.
Oh, nonsense. I desire you to stay. I insist on you hearing what Mr. Collins has to tell you.
Pray, be seated, Miss Elizabeth.
Thank you, Mr. Collins. I prefer standing.
I should feel more comfortable if you were to sit down.
Oh, very well.
Believe me, Miss Elizabeth, your modesty, far from doing you any disservice, rather adds to your other perfections. You can hardly doubt the purport of my discourse. Almost from the moment I entered this house, I singled you out as the companion of my future life. But before I run on with my feelings,
Don't allow your feelings to run away on my account.
perhaps I should state my reasons for marrying. First of all, I think it the right thing for every pastor to set an example of matrimony in his parish. Secondly, I'm convinced it will add greatly to my happiness. Thirdly, it is the recommendation of the noble lady whom I have the honor to call patroness, the Lady Catherine de Bourgh. The day I left Hunsford, she said, Collins, you must marry. Choose wisely for my sake and yours. Choose a gentlewoman, a useful sort, able to make a small income go a good way. Find such a woman, bring her to Hunsford, and I will visit with her.
That's certainly very gracious of Lady Catherine.
The notice and kindness of the Lady Catherine de Bourgh are not the least of the advantages in my power to offer you. You'll find her behavior beyond anything I can describe.
I feel sure of that.
Your vivacity will be acceptable to her ladyship, especially when tempered with the respect her rank will inspire.
Sir, the only answer...
I'm not quite finished.
I beg your pardon?
It remains to be stated why my steps were directed towards Longbourn. The fact is, since I am to inherit this estate after the death of your father, I resolved to choose a wife from one of his daughters, so that the loss might seem less when that melancholy event takes place. This has been my motive, fair cousin, and I flatter myself it will not sink me in your esteem.
Mr. Collins, my opinion of you has been constant from the time we first met.
Well, then nothing else remains but to assure you in the most animated language of the violence of my affection.
You are too hasty, sir. You forget that I have not yet given you my answer. Let me do so at once. I am sensible of the honor of your proposal, but I must decline.
I know it is usual for young ladies to reject a man they secretly intend to accept.
That is not the case with me, sir.
I know it is a custom of young ladies to decline a man on their first application. I'm therefore not discouraged at all.
Upon my word, sir, your hope is an extraordinary one. I am perfectly serious. You could not make me happy, and I am convinced that I am the last woman in the world who could make you so.
Silly girl.
In making me the offer, you must have satisfied your feelings with regard to my family, so you may take possession of Longbourn whenever it falls to you without self-reproach. The matter may be considered as finally settled.
When next we meet, I trust I shall receive a more favorable answer. Your behavior is consistent with the delicacy of the female character. I'm highly encouraged.
Mr. Collins, you puzzle me. If what I've said appears as a form of encouragement, how can I express my refusal in more convincing terms?
I flatter myself that your refusal is merely words. My financial situation and my connections with the family de Bourgh are highly in my favor.
Kindly allow me to pass, sir.
Your income is small, and despite your various attractions, it is by no means certain that another offer of marriage will ever be made to you. I must therefore conclude that you are not serious in your rejection, and attribute to your wanting to increase my love through suspense, such is the way of elegant females.
I have no pretensions to that kind of elegance which consists in tormenting a respectable man. I thank you again for the honor you have paid me, but to accept it is impossible. My feelings forbid it. Can I speak any plainer than that? Do not consider me an elegant female, but a rational creature speaking from her heart.
Your uniform is charming. I'm convinced you'll change your mind.
I'll send my father and let him deliver my answer. You won't mistake his behavior for the affectation of an elegant female.
What happened? Lizzie rushed right past me just now. Don't tell me she had the impudence to refuse you.
No cause for alarm. It was only such a refusal as would flow from her modesty and delicacy of character.
Not Lizzie. Depend on it, Mr. Collins, she shall be brought to reason. She's a foolish and headstrong young girl.
Foolish? Headstrong? I'm not sure she'd make a desirable wife for a man in my situation. No.
Oh, no. Mr. Collins, you quite misunderstand me. No, she is headstrong only in matters such as these. And everything else, she's as good-natured a girl as ever lived. I shall speak to her father and we will get to the bottom of this. Oh, my dear, you are needed most immediately. We are in an uproar. You must make Lizzie marry Mr. Collins, for she vows not to have him. And if you don't make haste, he may change his mind and not have her.
No doubt you'll wish to rebuke your daughter in private, sir. I shall take my leave.
Well now, Lizzie, what's this about then? Might you understand that Mr. Collins has made you an offer of marriage?
Yes, Papa.
And you have refused this offer?
Yes, Papa.
Very well, we now come to the point. Your mother insists upon you accepting. Is that not so, Mrs. Bennet?
Yes, or I shall never see her again.
A very unhappy alternative is before you, Elizabeth. From this day forward, you must be a stranger to one of your parents. Your mother will never see you again if you do not marry Mr. Collins. And I will never see you again if you do.
Oh, Mary! Mary! Mary, where are you? Papa.
Alas, my love, you do me wrong to cast me off discourteously, for I have loved you so long, delighting in your company.
Papa, they're clapping their hands. They'd like to hear me play again.
No, you've delighted us long enough. We must allow other young ladies a chance to exhibit their
But,
talents.
Papa!
Come along, Mary.
If I was so fortunate as to be able to sing, I should take great pleasure in obliging the company with an air. I consider music perfectly innocent and compatible with the profession of a clergyman.
Oh, you're too modest, Mr. Collins. I'm sure you have an admirable singing voice.
Miss Lucas, may I absent myself for a moment? I've just learned that there is a present in near relation to my patroness.
You mean Mr. Darcy?
Yes, who would have thought that I might meet the nephew of the Lady Catherine de Bourgh at a garden party? I must take this opportunity to pay my respects. Good day, sir. It is Mr. Darcy, is it not?
My name is Darcy, sir.
I must entreat your pardon, sir, for not having waited upon you earlier, for it is just now that I have learned of your relationship to that gracious and condescending lady, your aunt.
You may have supposed, sir, that I was related to my aunt, but I still don't know why you address me at all.
I am the Reverend William Collins.
That in itself is not a sufficient explanation.
I am the rector of Hunsford Parish, thanks to the patronage of Lady Catherine de Bourgh.
My congratulations, sir. Have you met Miss Bingley, our hostess at Netherfield this afternoon?
Delighted to meet you. May I compliment you on the splendor of your house and its furnishings?
Thank you, sir.
It is my duty to inform you, sir, that her ladyship was in good health when I saw her yesterday fortnight.
No. Had she been ailing previously?
No, sir. Her ladyship's health has been continuously salubrious.
Then I ask when next you see Lady Catherine to inform her that I am also in excellent health.
I shall make it my duty, sir. I leave Longbourn this evening and will be at Hunsford to conduct vesper service on Monday.
Did you say Longbourn? Are you then related to the Bennets?
Their estate is entailed to me. When her ladyship suggested that I marry, naturally I thought the hand of Miss Jane Bennet. Alas, she is betrothed to another. I then sought out Miss Elizabeth when she too was disinclined.
Sir, I must prevail upon you to discuss your matrimony ambitions to me another time.
Indeed, yes, sir. It is incumbent that I return to my guest, Miss Lucas. Your humble servant, sir. Ma'am.
What an obnoxious person. He pays compliments to the furniture.
Did you find Mr. Darcy agreeable?
I have no reason to be displeased. His manners were very proper and civil. His manners resemble those of his aunt, the distinguished Lady Catherine.
It appears you have a rival in your courtship of Miss Eliza. How delighted your aunt will be to have you married into the family of her parish parson.
Don't you think, Caroline, the joke is wearing thin?
I'm afraid this latest news may have an effect on your admiration of her fine eyes.
Not at all. They grow brighter each time I see them.
Ugh. Before the desirable event takes place, I hope you'll give your mother-in-law a few hints as to the advantage of holding her tongue. And do cure the younger girls of running after officers.
Do you have anything else to propose for my domestic felicity?
If I may mention so delicate a subject, endeavor to check some of the conceit in your ladies' conversation.
And besides him being such an ingratiating young man and so rich and living only 3 miles from Longbourn.
Careful, there's Mr. Darcy now with Miss Bingley.
Oh, what does Mr. Darcy mean to be, pray? I'm sure we're not obliged to say only civil things he'd like to hear.
Still, it can serve no purpose in which to offend him.
Look at that lovely prospect under the arbors. Ah, yes, my dear. Given time to make necessary preparations for new carriages and wedding clothes, I have no doubt that I shall see my Jane settled here at Netherfield within the next 3 months.
It will be a comfort to you to have her so nearby.
And all the parties that they give will throw all the girls into the way of rich young men. Or perhaps Charlotte will meet someone. She's a good sort of girl. It's a pity she's not handsome. No, I don't mean that she's plain, dear. It's just that she's been Lizzie's friend for so long that we've grown accustomed to her. I'm so sorry.
But why didn't he attend the party? Do you suppose, Lizzie, that he was purposely omitted from the invitation? Oh, business in Meryton, he said. Oh, but what could that mean?
I don't believe Mr. Wickham's business would have carried him away just now if he hadn't wished to avoid a certain gentleman here.
It was Mr. Darcy's fault. That hateful man. A garden party with so few of the military men is almost worse than no party at all. And now they say the entire regiment may be transferred to Brighton. If they go, it will break my heart. I'm sure it will break mine. If only I could go to Brighton. A little sea bathing would set me up forever. Only Papa is so disagreeable. He'd never let me go. They mustn't send the officers away. Whatever would we do?
You'd be obliged to stay at home and check your exuberant spirits. And that wouldn't be a bad thing.
Come along, girls. There's to be an archery tournament on the lawn, and the officers are going to take part.
Must you go away tomorrow?
I'll only be in London 3 days, but it'll seem long being away from you.
I can't see that the city has any great advantages over the country, except for the shops and public places. The country is a vast deal pleasanter, is it not, Mr. Bingley?
When I'm in the country, I never wish to leave it. When I'm in town, it's pretty much the same. I could be equally happy in either, provided that you were with me, Miss Jane.
I'm not at all sure that I have the style or accomplishments to feel at ease in the city.
Miss Jane, how wrong you are. I never met anyone who delighted me so much with her accomplishments. I mean, it's amazing to me how young ladies have the patience to become so accomplished as they all are.
All of them?
Yes, all of them, I think. Well, they paint tables, decorate screens, net purses, sing and play the pianoforte.
Many of them do.
And besides all this, they improve their mind by extensive reading.
You comprehend a great deal in your idea of an accomplished woman, Mr. Bingley.
Oh, certainly, but in the whole range of my acquaintance, you surpass them all. There's something in your manner of walking, the tone of your voice. Miss Jane, you're all loveliness and goodness.
You overwhelm me, sir. Your praises are more than I deserve.
Oh, forgive me, my ideas flow so rapidly I haven't time to express them. Oh, deuce take it. Here comes Darcy with Miss Eliza. Miss Jane, will you give me leave to defer my praises until we reach the drawing room?
You are a student of character, I can see.
Is there anything half so amusing as studying other people?
The country, I imagine, supplies few subjects worthy of your talent. You move in a very confined society.
Yes, but people themselves alter so much. There's forever something new to be observed.
I wonder when you marry, if your husband will alter from day to day, or will he be the one constant in your ever-changing world?
Constant in affection, I hope. But I trust each day will reveal some attribute to deepen my affection.
And to serve you as a source of amusement.
If he loves me, he'll not mind my laughing at him occasionally.
The wisest of men may be rendered ridiculous by those whose first object in life is a joke.
I hope I never ridicule what is wise and good. Follies and inconsistencies divert me, and I laugh at them whenever I can.
Today I left Hans where Lady Catherine said to me, Collins, you must marry. Choose wisely for my sake and yours, but make her be a useful sort, able to make his small income go a good way.
Oh, I've always felt that to be married to a clergyman would be such a privilege.
Almost from the moment I met you, Miss Charlotte, I knew that you would be the companion of my future life.
We were speaking of inconsistencies. Have you none of them yourself?
It has been the study of my life to avoid weaknesses which expose me to ridicule.
Such as vanity and pride?
Vanity is a weakness indeed. But where there is real superiority of mind, pride will always be under control.
You admit no defects.
I have defects. My temper I dare not vouch for. I cannot forget the vices nor the offenses of others. My good opinion once lost is lost forever.
That is a failing indeed.
You can be sure that Mr. Bingley and Jane have found a secluded nook. He's so devoted to her. Well, whatever makes my girls happy. Well, Mrs. Phillips said to me that when I told her that if anything happened to Mr. Bennet, that we could be turned out at Longbourn at a moment's notice, she turned to me slyly and said, "You'll find it just as comfortable at Netherfield." Well, I knew what she meant, of course.
Mr. Bennet seems in good health.
Oh, he is. I meant that Mr. Bingley will be asking Jane for her hand. But with her looks, she could certainly do better, but I never stand in the way of my daughter's happiness.
I forget, what were we discussing?
It hardly matters. My mother couldn't have interrupted two people who had less to say to each other.
We were speaking of my defects.
Yes, your defect is the propensity to dislike other people.
Your defect, it appears, is to willfully misunderstand.
Do you never allow yourself to be blinded by prejudice?
Not if I can help it.
Those who never change their opinion ought to be sure of judging properly first.
But there's some people in this world unworthy of being forgiven.
You refer to Mr. Wickham, do you not?
Only if you choose to think so.
We have all of us found Mr. Wickham amiable and pleasing.
And I would imagine Mr. Wickham is blessed with such good looks and happy manners as to ensure his making new friends wherever he goes.
He has been so unlucky to lose your friendship, and in a manner he is likely to suffer from all his life.
He seems to have gained your friendship in his place.
Can you defend your conduct towards him?
To my friends, yes. But they do not require me to do so.
Then I take it I am not your friend. It gives me pleasure to bid you good afternoon.
I would by no means suspend any pleasure of yours.
Darcy, you must speak to this boy at once. He tells me he intends to declare himself to Miss Jane Bennet and ask her to marry him. Well, I told him that such a marriage is impossible, but if he heard me, it was by good luck, for I'm sure he doesn't listen to a word I say. I depend on you to bring him to his senses.
Well, Charles?
What do you mean, well? You look at me like a governess and a guardian angel. I don't care for it. I propose to go on enjoying myself.
Go on enjoying yourself, but don't commit yourself.
I love her, Darcy. Upon my soul, I do. She's the most beautiful creature I ever laid eyes upon. She's good, she's clever. Well, clever enough for a fellow like me. In short, she has everything a young woman should.
Including a mother.
Most girls do. I can't blame her for that any more than I can blame you for your aunt.
What have you against Lady Catherine?
No, nothing except she's, well, insufferable.
If you wish, I can promise that you'll never speak to my aunt again. Can Miss Bennet promise to protect you from her mother?
I don't care about Mrs. Bennet. I'm not asking her to come and live with me.
Never fear. She's already invited herself.
To come here to live.
I heard her say so. You may not know, but Longbourn is entailed away from the daughters. When Mr. Bennet dies, his wife and family must find a new home. For instance, Netherfield.
You're talking nonsense.
The Reverend Mr. Collins is next in the entail and came here to propose marriage to Miss Jane.
That simpleton? Marry her?
That was his plan.
But not hers.
It was her mother's. She would see Jane married to you, to Mr. Collins, or anyone who could support them all.
I don't believe she'd marry that parson fellow. But if her mother attempts to force her into the marriage, then it's my duty to save her from it.
You have a duty to yourself as well. To your sister, to your friends, not to marry a social inferior. You've seen the want of propriety in the mother and the giddiness of the younger girls.
I'd be wanting impropriety to myself if I drew back now. Except for the actual words, I've as good as offered myself to Miss Jane, and I swear she loves me as well.
Her placid looks, her unruffled manners, is the same as in the company of any other man I've seen her with. That is not love.
Well, it's true. I know of no reason why she should love me. I'm an ordinary fellow, not brilliant like you. I have a great deal to say. Not a bit clever. I think of how well we're getting along together, and she smiles sweetly. But then again, she could be thinking of some other man. What should I do?
You must come to London with me.
I'll do that. I've already told her so.
You must stay with me.
3 short days, I told her.
You must stay at least a month. She'll soon marry the parson or some other enterprising young fellow. You'll see.
Well, I guess you're right, Darcy. You've always been my best friend. I've never had any reason to doubt your advice before.
Come along then. You'll thank me for this someday. Believe me.
I, for one, am delighted to get back to my book, but I dare say you had a pleasant afternoon.
It was a disaster from beginning to end. The regiment is being transferred to Brighton. Kitty and Lydia are in tears, and as if it weren't bad enough that Lizzie should refuse Mr. Collins, he's gone and proposed to Charlotte Lucas, and she's accepted him. Charlotte, do you know what that means?
I suppose very shortly they'll be getting married.
It means that Charlotte will be queening it over us as his wife at Longbourn. Oh, that I should live to see the day.
Quite possibly you won't.
How can you be so calm?
My dear, Mr. and Mrs. Collins will be kinging it and queening it around here until I'm dead. As a dead man, I decline to get excited.
You haven't heard the worst of it. Mr. Bingley is going to London with that dreadful friend of his, Mr. Darcy. At first they were only going to be gone for 3 days, but Miss Bingley said they're going to spend the winter there and close down Netherfield for good. We shall never see him again. Jane is quite heartbroken. He scarcely said goodbye to her. Oh, I was so hoping that I would find at least 2 husbands for my poor girls, and now instead they'll be homeless, and so will I. At my age, that's not a pretty prospect. Oh, my nerves are in tatters.
There, my dear, you mustn't take on so.
Homeless, the 6 of us homeless, while Charlotte Lucas and Mr. Collins are asleep in our bed. What do you think of that, Mr. Bennet?
I think it is very fortunate that we will not be there.
Now, dear Lizzie, we can have a talk undisturbed by the men. Mr. Collins will be half an hour showing Father the garden. I want to hear all the news from home. I can't tell you how happy I am to have someone to talk with again.
You've no idea how much I've missed you, Charlotte. You seem happy.
We housewives make the best of things.
The parsonage is comfortable and homey. That's your doing, I'm sure. And Mr. Collins is very proud of his garden.
I encourage him to stay out of doors as much as possible and cultivate it.
However, do you manage?
You really mean? How do I manage to put up with Mr. Collins? Dear Lizzie, what choice did I have? I was 27 and likely to be an old maid. I determined to get married before the year was out, and I went into it with my eyes open.
I didn't mean to upset you.
You hadn't. You know you were surprised with my rushing into matrimony, but I'm not romantic. You know, I never was. Yet without thinking highly of either men or matrimony, marriage has always been my object. It's the only agreeable preservation from starvation for an educated woman of small fortune.
And Mr. Collins is the answer to your prayer.
I'm convinced my chance of happiness with him is fair as most people entering the married state.
Undoubtedly you're right.
Now tell me of Hertfordshire, of Jane and Mr. Bingley. Is there any news?
Yes, there is, I'm sorry to say. It is definite that they shall never meet again.
He never returned to Netherfield. My mother wrote me that, but isn't Jane in London?
Yes, she has spent the winter with my aunt in Gracechurch Street.
And Mr. Bingley hasn't come to call?
He may not even know she's there. His sister, Miss Bingley, came once to tea and never returned the invitation.
A very dislikable woman, that Miss Bingley.
I always thought so. Nobody likes her except poor Jane, who would find excuses for anybody.
Yes, she would.
I don't blame Miss Bingley. She couldn't influence her brother that strongly.
You suspect Mr. Darcy?
I don't like the man, but it's hard to believe that even he could be so cruel.
Was Jane very unhappy?
She was very much in love. You know her. In seasons of cheerfulness, no temper could be happier than hers. Bingley protested his love, and then deserted her. She has the sympathy of her friends, but I know she has periods of great dejection.
Poor darling Jane. I wonder if she gave the young man sufficient encouragement.
How do you mean?
Her equanimity, her composure. In 9 cases out of 10, a woman had better show more affection than she feels. Mr. Bingley liked your sister, but he could never do more if she hadn't helped him on.
She did as much as her nature would allow. I could see that she loved him. Why couldn't he?
Perhaps you know your sister better than he does.
You may be right.
Now tell me of your other sisters. Are they at Longbourn?
Mary and Kitty are at home, but when the regiment was transferred to Brighton, the Colonel and Mrs. Foster invited Lydia to come and stay with them.
I'll wager she's the belle of the Esplanade.
It was against my advice. Lydia is, at 16, the most determined flirt that has ever made herself and her family ridiculous. But Papa said that Lydia would never be easy until she had demonstrated her folly in some public place, and we could never do it with such little expense and inconvenience. He's counting on the Colonel to keep her out of mischief.
And the charming Mr. Wickham, did he go with the regiment?
He did.
He was more than attentive to you at the cotillions. I had hoped his admiration might have turned to love.
I'm not sure he has ever experienced that pure and elevating passion. And why must we forever be in love? When last heard of, Wickham was paying court to an heiress.
Is he entirely mercenary?
In matrimonial affairs, what's the difference between being mercenary and being prudent? Handsome young officers in distressed circumstances must have something to live on, as well as the plainer variety.
Now, Eliza, you're being as tolerant as Jane. You know very well he has passed you by, and you can't bear the sound of his name.
Mr. Wickham is by far the most agreeable man that I have ever met, and I could wish that we were in love, for I hear that love is a very pleasant and melancholy state to be in. But I am not in love with anybody. Melancholy doesn't suit me.
I'll take your word you're not in love with Wickham.
Come, my dear. Quickly, quickly.
Whatever is the matter?
Come and look.
Is that all? 2 ladies in a carriage? I thought at least the pigs had gotten into the garden. Is that Lady Catherine and her daughter?
No, it's Miss Anne de Bourgh and her governess, Mrs. Jenkinson.
So that's the daughter.
Yes, they say she's to marry Mr. Darcy, and he's coming to Rosings to set the date.
She looks sickly and bad-tempered, and she'll make an ideal wife for him. She's rude to leave Charlotte standing in the cold wind. Why doesn't she come inside?
Oh, Charlotte says it's considered the greatest of compliments just to have her drive by. Ah, now they're moving on.
What a deal of bother over nothing.
It's really most flattering to have Miss Anne stop by on the day of our arrival.
Well, Sir William, Miss Elizabeth, what do you suppose has happened? Something out of the ordinary. Something I scarcely should have hoped for.
I'm all anticipation.
I admit, I should have been surprised if her ladyship had invited us over for tea on Sunday, but who could have foreseen such attention as this?
Whatever can it be?
We have been invited to dine tomorrow night, the entire party of us at Rosings.
Well, I'm not surprised. From my knowledge of the gentry when I was knighted at St. James's, such instances of good breeding are not uncommon.
I know what you're thinking, fair cousin.
What am I thinking, Mr. Collins?
On occasions such as this, a young lady's thoughts turn to her apparel.
Quite so.
Lady Catherine is far from requiring that elegance of dress which becomes herself and her daughter. Lady Catherine will not think the worst of you for being simply clad. She likes the distinction of rank preserved.
My dear, you'll be pretty whatever you wear.
I shall try not to disgrace the household.
It's only a short walk across the meadow, and after dinner a carriage will be sent for us. Lady Catherine never allows us to walk home.
Very considerate.
And you needn't fear of being in awe of the surroundings. Any manifestation of awe will be greatly appreciated by her ladyship.
The facade of Rosings is impressive indeed.
There are more than 100 leaded windows which cost the late Sir Louis de Bourgh over £1,000 for glazing alone.
Extraordinary.
And the portrait gallery holds no less than 47 of her ladyship's ancestors.
Mr. Collins, the light of the afternoon sun is falling on the windows at any moment. Why don't you take my father down to the bottom of the meadow and show him the view?
A capital suggestion. Will you come, Sir William?
By all means.
Miss Elizabeth, will you join us?
Lizzie and I will follow you presently, but you must hurry or the sun will be gone.
Very well, my dear.
You handle the comings and goings with great dexterity, dear Charlotte. I take it you have something to say to me.
The news may not please you. Mr. Darcy and his cousin Colonel Fitzwilliam arrive tomorrow. They're expected to attend dinner.
So much the better. It will enhance the party.
I thought you might be reluctant to meet Mr. Darcy again.
Far from it. I am not afraid of him and care too little for his approbation.
Well, I'm relieved. Perhaps when you meet Mr. Darcy again, you might find him more agreeable.
That would be a misfortune. To find a man agreeable whom one is determined to dislike.
Come now, Lizzie, and I'll be in the pantry. My husband likes to be amply supplied with buttered muffins for his tea.
Deal the cards, Collins. Deal the cards.
With pleasure, your ladyship.
I think we shall play quadrille. Darcy, won't you sit down and join us?
No, ma'am, I wish to observe your skill.
Might I say again, your ladyship, how affable it is of you to allow my wife to escort her father and my cousin through the portrait gallery. I'm sure they will find the experience most edifying.
Not at all, Collins. Miss Bennet appears to be a very genteel kind of girl, and as she has seen but little of the world, it is our duty to improve her sensibility.
If she has not already done so, I'm sure Miss Eliza will not leave before conveying her thanks.
Deal the cards, Collins, and give me my fishes.
Yes, your ladyship.
Darcy, I'm given to understand you're already acquainted with Miss Bennet.
Yes, ma'am. When I visited my friend Bingley at Netherfield, I met Miss Bennet and her entire family.
Well, how many sisters does she have?
There are 4.
Are they older or younger than herself?
1 older and 3 younger, as I recall.
Collins, these cards are very poor. You haven't shuffled sufficiently. Please shuffle and deal again.
Yes, your ladyship.
Are they handsome, these sisters?
They are all considered to be beauties.
Indeed. Your cousin, Miss Bennet, isn't nearly so plain-looking as I expected.
Oh, you're so kind to say so, your ladyship.
Oh, she's not so aristocratic in appearance as Anne, of course.
No, your ladyship, no one would dare to compare your lady's daughter to Miss Eliza. Miss Anne is more likened to an English rose, where Miss Eliza is more likened to the humble cowslip.
Oh, Anne would have been one of the most admired beauties in London if her health hadn't kept her in the country.
Might I say that London's loss is the country's gain?
Oh, how true. Tell me, Darcy, are any of Miss Bennet's sisters likely to be married soon?
I cannot say.
Where were they educated, and what is their mother's maiden name?
You must put these inquiries to Miss Bennet when she returns. I do not know the answers.
Her father's estate is entailed to you, Collins, I believe.
That is true, your ladyship.
Well, for your sake, I'm glad of it. Otherwise, I see no occasion for estates to be entailed away from the female line. It was not thought necessary to Louis de Bourgh's family. Oh, is it my play? Fitzwilliam.
Yes, Aunt?
You never met Miss Bennet before, I dare say.
No, ma'am, not until this evening. And I find her entirely charming.
You don't say. Darcy, do you think her charming too?
I consider her to be both witty and intelligent. Her charm has never been in question.
That is exceptional praise, Darcy, coming from you. Well, is it my play again?
Yes.
Oh, why didn't you say so, Collins? Remember that we are playing cards and must give our best attention to the game. You haven't been tampering with my fishes, have you?
No, your ladyship.
I am dumbfounded, your ladyship. I haven't seen such sumptuous paintings since I was knighted at St. James's.
It was a privilege to see them, ma'am.
Oh, the long gallery is impressive, is it not? There are 47 portraits, all ancestors of mine.
Yes, ma'am, I counted them.
Did you now? Come closer and let me have a look at you. I thought so. Your face is too thin and your nose lacks character.
It does.
Oh, your teeth are tolerable, but not out of the common way as teeth go.
I'm sorry to hear that.
As for your eyes, I've heard them praised, but I can't perceive anything extraordinary in them. They have a shrewish look, which I don't like at all.
Your ladyship has a keen sense of observation. Is there anything else you see worth mentioning?
Your complexion. It lacks brilliancy. The texture is rather brown and coarse.
Tanned by the sun, your ladyship. My chief enjoyment is taking country walks.
Oh, you're a walker, are you? Be careful, your skin will shrivel up. Give me a hand, please. Sir William, finish the game for me.
Yes, your ladyship.
Collins has been taking my fishes out of the pool, and I don't like it. Miss Bennet, I'm about to take a turn around the room. Let me persuade you to join me. I assure you it is highly refreshing.
Certainly, Lady Catherine.
You have 3 younger sisters, have you not, Miss Bennet?
Yes, ma'am, and one older than myself.
Are any of them out in society?
Yes, ma'am, all of them.
What? All 5 of you out at once? Well, how very odd. The younger one's out before the elder are married. Your younger sisters must be very young.
Yes, my youngest is just 16. She is rather young to be much in company. But really, ma'am, I think that it would be very hard upon younger sisters for them not to have their share of society, because the eldest do not have the means nor the inclination to marry early.
Oh, upon my word, you give your opinion most decidedly for so young a person. Pray, what is your age?
With 3 younger sisters all grown up, your ladyship can hardly expect me to reveal it.
Well, since you cannot be more than 20, I see no reason why you should conceal it.
I will admit to 20, no more than that.
Darcy, we're having the most entertaining walk. Won't you join us?
No, I thank you, ma'am. I can think of only 2 reasons for you choosing to walk up and down the room together. My joining you would interfere with both of them.
What could he have meant by that? Do you understand what he means, Miss Bennet?
Not at all. But depend on it. He means to be severe with us, and our surest way of disappointing him is to ask nothing about it.
Well, I have no wish to disappoint him. Come, Darcy, explain the 2 motives which prevent you from joining us.
Gladly. You either choose this method of exercise because you have secrets to confide, or because you are conscious that your figures appear to the greatest advantage when walking.
Oh, do you hear that?
In the first case, I should be completely in your way. In the second, I can admire you much greater from where I'm sitting.
I call that impudence. How shall we punish him for such a speech?
Laugh at him. If there is one thing that Mr. Darcy cannot stand, it is to be laughed at.
You know him rather well. Have you played out my hand, Sir William?
I fear we have been unsuccessful, your ladyship.
You mean that I'm lost?
I'm very much afraid.
Sir William, you are not a very good player. I'm not accustomed to losing.
I'm a little out of practice, your ladyship.
Give me back my chair. Deal again, Collins.
Yes, your ladyship.
Are we to have the pleasure of hearing you play the piano, Miss Elizabeth?
My playing is for country folk only, not for gentlemen from London where the great masters can be heard.
I've heard Elizabeth play, and she plays very well indeed.
But you, dear Charlotte, are the better musician.
What are you saying over there? What are you talking about, Miss Bennet?
We were discussing music, ma'am.
Ah, music. Then pray, speak louder. It is of all subjects my delight. There are few people in England who have more true enjoyment of music than myself. If I had ever learned, I should have been a great proficient.
Oh, I most humbly agree, your ladyship.
And would have been a superb performer too, if her health had permitted.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure of that, my lady.
But Mrs. Collins plays moderately well. Go into the music room, Mrs. Collins, and play something for us. Play something loud and keep the door ajar.
If your ladyship pleases.
Now it's your turn to say something, Mr. Darcy. I've remarked on the weather and the profusion of spring flowers, and her ladyship's ancestry. Now it's your turn to say something.
Whatever you wish shall be said.
That reply will do for present. Now we may be silent for a moment.
Do you always speak by the rule when conversing with gentlemen?
It would look odd to be silent for minutes at a time. Conversation ought to be arranged so that it causes as little trouble as possible.
Are you consulting your own opinion or gratifying mine?
Both. For I see a great similarity in the turn of our minds. We are both of a taciturn nature, unwilling to speak until we can say something that will amaze a room full of people and be handed down to posterity as a proverb.
What are you talking about over there? Oh, something malicious, I'll be bound. I've had enough of this. Collins, if you weren't a parson, I'd swear you were cheating.
No, your ladyship.
Oh, say no more, Collins.
Believe me.
You may have an honest face, but you have the instincts of a gambler. Let's all go into the music room. Darcy, you may take me in. You've spoken sufficiently to Miss Bennet.
Are you and Mr. Darcy to be in Kent for long?
That is entirely up to Mr. Darcy. I'm to go with him to his estate at Pemberley. but he'll arrange the win of it, whenever it suits him.
He's accustomed to having his own way about everything.
He prefers it that way, but so should we all if we were rich and could afford to do as we please.
As the younger son of an earl, you can't have experienced poverty.
Younger sons are at a disadvantage. They can't marry unless the dowry is substantial. I spend most of my time visiting relatives and friends. I'm at Darcy's disposal for as long as convenient. And my elder brother will inherit most of our father's estate.
Then younger sons are not much better off than younger daughters. Are you acquainted with Mr. Bingley?
Oh yes, very fine fellow, and Darcy's best friend.
Darcy takes prodigious good care of him, I believe.
Indeed, yes. From what I've heard, Bingley has every reason to be indebted to his friend.
In what way?
Naturally, no names were mentioned, for if it were to get around to the young lady's family, it might make for unpleasantness.
What did Mr. Darcy do?
He saved his friend from an unfortunate marriage. From the way he spoke, I'm positive he meant Bingley.
Did he give any reason for his interference?
The lady's family were a very common lot, I believe.
How did he separate the young lovers?
He did not tell me, only that romance was broken off before an engagement could be announced.
What are you doing in there? Miss Bennet, Fitzwilliam, come and join us at once!
Her ladyship is calling. We mustn't keep her waiting.
Miss Elizabeth,
Mr. Darcy, I hadn't expected to see you here.
I understood you were coming to tea at Rosings.
I felt rather tired, so I asked them to go without me.
That's what I was told. I was concerned and I came to inquire about your health.
That's very kind. I'm feeling better now.
I'm glad to hear it.
Won't you please sit down?
I came to say goodbye. I'm leaving early tomorrow.
I expect you'll be glad to be back in Derbyshire. Or are you going back to London?
No. That is to say, my plans are uncertain. It's no use, Miss Bennet. It just won't do. I have tried, but I have tried in vain. I cannot repress my feelings for you any longer. Miss Bennet, I am ashamed to say it, but I'm in love with you.
Mr. Darcy, that's impossible.
Yes, impossible. That's what I've told myself. We're not social equals. There are many obstacles between us. I know how ridiculous I must seem to you.
You are indeed ridiculous.
I'm doing exactly what I've warned others about. Against my inclination, I've obeyed the summons of your face and lively mind. It's degrading for someone of my rank and station, but you're worth any sacrifice, Miss Bennet.
Am I really?
Miss Bennet, I ask you to be my wife.
In these situations, I believe it is customary to express a sense of obligation. If I could feel gratitude, I'd thank you now, but I cannot. I have never desired your good opinion, and you've certainly bestowed it most unwillingly. I'm sorry if you feel degraded. I'm sorry to cause pain to anyone, but it has been done unintentionally, and I hope it will not last long.
Madam, I've made you an offer in all sincerity.
The feelings which you say have nearly prevented your making a proposal will console you now that I've refused it.
Refuse? You refuse me?
As incredible as it may seem to you, yes.
May I ask why, with so little endeavor at civility, I am rejected?
And I might as well ask why, with such an evident design in insulting me, You chose to tell me that you liked me against your will, against your reason, and even against your character. Doesn't that give me an excuse to be angry?
Madam, you have misunderstood me.
And I've other provocations as well. Do you think any consideration would tempt me to accept the man who has been the means of ruining perhaps forever the happiness of my most beloved sister? No motive can excuse the unjust part you acted there.
I see now. It's for your sister whom you're so angry.
Oh, can you deny that you've hurt her?
I admit that I did everything in my power to separate my friend from your sister. I've been kinder to him than to myself.
Your character was unfolded to me some time ago. You pretend to be a true friend of Mr. Bingley's, but in what respect have you been a friend of Mr. Wickham's?
I thank you for explaining your opinion of me so fully. My faults are heavy indeed, but perhaps they may have been overlooked if I hadn't hurt your pride by discussing the scruples which restrained me from speaking before. But I am not ashamed of my feelings, and I did not care to disguise them.
You made them plain enough.
Could you expect me to exult in the inferiority of your family connections? After meeting your mother and younger sisters, should I congratulate myself on the hopes of marrying into such a household?
Mr. Darcy, the mode of your declaration had nothing to do with my refusal. You couldn't have made the offer in any manner that would have tempted me to accept it.
Naturally, you would say that.
From the first moment of my acquaintance with you, your snobbery, your arrogance, your conceit, your disdain for the feelings of others helped form my opinion of you.
Thank you, madam.
I hadn't known you a week before I realized that you were the last man in the world who I could be prevailed upon to marry.
Thank you again. I understand your emotions perfectly, and I have only to be embarrassed by what my own have been. Forgive me for taking up so much of your time.
Surely, Mr. Darcy, we can have nothing further to say to each other.
Miss Bennet, I have never doubted your intelligence, nor you my pride. If it were merely arrogance, I should not defend it. But there is a pride which no words of yours can shake. The pride which concerns my honor and good name. You have made 2 accusations against me, and since this is on the last occasion which we shall meet, I must say something in my own defense.
I will listen to whatever you have to say.
First, in respect to your sister and my friend, I admit that I tried to separate them, and I was happy to have succeeded. I wish to preserve my friend from an unsuitable and unhappy marriage. But never for one moment did I suppose that your sister's heart was seriously touched, or that she returned his affection. I had seen them together often, and her serenity deceived me.
Jane does not wear her heart upon her sleeve.
If I wounded her feelings, it was unknowingly done. Had I known, I may have regretted the marriage, but I would not have opposed it.
Thank you, Mr. Darcy. I will consider what you've said.
That's all that I ask.
And the other accusation?
That is more difficult. I shan't make a long story of Mr. Wickham, but here are the plain facts on which he has put so attractive a polish. It is true that Mr. Wickham grew up at Pemberley as a boy, the son of my father's steward. My father held a high opinion of him and hoped the church would be his intended profession to provide for him. My own opinion of him was less high. From his early manhood, I realized that Mr. Wickham was a vicious character and not entitled to the respect of any woman.
I can't believe you. It is your envy and jealousy speaking.
My father died 5 years ago, leaving Mr. Wickham a legacy. 6 months later, he came to me and told me he decided not to go into the church. He felt he was entitled to monetary compensation instead. I gladly agreed, and he accepted £3,000 in exchange for the pulpit.
Wickham did this?
He went to London, where he lived a life of idleness and dissipation. 2 years later, he had the effrontery to return and demand the pulpit my father had promised him. This time I refused his claim.
It's hard to believe. It is still your word against his.
Then I must tell you something I hope never to speak of again. My sister, Georgiana, 10 years younger than myself, was left to my guardianship. A year ago, she was sent to a seaport town for her health and the companionship of a woman I supposed I could trust. Mr. Wickham learned of this and followed her there. His charm persuaded herself to believe herself in love and to consent to an elopement.
It's difficult to believe.
unknown to Mr. Wickham, my sister sent me a letter of farewell. I arrived in time to prevent the elopement. My sister was 15 years old, which must be her excuse. Mr. Wickham's excuse was that she had a fortune of 30,000 pounds, and he could think of no more cruel way to revenge himself upon me.
I can't think now, but I shall remember.
Perhaps we both shall remember and profit by this afternoon.
But thank you, Mr. Darcy. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Elizabeth. Please accept my best wishes for your happiness.
Lizzie, I met the postman in the lane. This is for you.
It's from Jane. It was written 5 days ago.
What's the matter?
Oh dear, this is dreadful news.
Tell me what's happened.
Where's your father? We must leave for Longbourn at once. It's Lydia. She's run away from Brighton with Mr. Wickham.
Has she married him?
There's no mention of marriage. She has no money, nothing to tempt a man like that.
But is it certain that she's gone and...
They have been traced as far as London. My papa has gone there to search for them, and my mamma has taken to her bed in tears. This will seem the end of the world to her. Jane cannot hide her own grief. She writes to beg my immediate return.
I'll fetch father at once. Poor darling Lizzie.
Please apologize for me to Mr. Collins and Lady Catherine. Tell them that urgent news has called me home. Conceal the truth as long as you can.
What an unhappy conclusion to your visit.
Yes, Charlotte. This is a day that I am unlikely to forget for the rest of my life.
Is Mamma still having hysterics?
She won't leave her bed. Mary is trying her best to be comforting, but every time Lydia's name is mentioned, Mamma turns on the waterworks.
I can't see that there's a servant in the house or a soul in the village that doesn't know the whole scandal by now. Well, how could Lydia do this to her?
There was no question of Lydia's ability to disgrace herself. All she needed was an opportunity.
You were against her going to Brighton in the first place.
I shouldn't have minded her going to Brighton if only the regiment hadn't been going there as well.
So difficult to be here and be able to do nothing.
I think what Papa must be feeling. Every shopkeeper he spoke to in Brighton said that Wickham owed him money, and every officer in the regiment said the same. I gather anyone who he has spoke to has said that Wickham is by far the most accomplished scoundrel that has ever lived.
We can only hope and pray that once they are found, Wickham can be persuaded to marry her.
I know, but how Papa can afford it, I cannot see.
Afford it?
A man like that, handsome, charming, and a villain, will hold out for a price of at least 10,000 pounds.
Well, Papa can never raise half that sum.
I'm taking tea and scones up to Mamma.
And Devonshire cream and strawberry jam.
Yes, Lizzie.
That's good. Mamma enjoys little luxuries along with her hysterics.
We all have to pay the price for Lydia's bad behavior. Oh, if I should have the chance to go to Brighton, I'd behave better than she did.
You go to Brighton? Papa has forbidden you to attend the village cotillions. No officers ever to set foot in this house again, and dancing is absolutely forbidden unless you dance with one of your sisters.
I never seen Papa get so cross.
He told me that if I was a very good girl for the next 10 years, he might take me to go see a military parade.
You'd better take the tea upstairs before it gets cold.
Lord of mercy! She's coming down.
There, Mamma. Are you all right?
Oh, I'll never be all right as long as I live. This horrible thing that's happened to your sister is more than I can bear. But ill as I am, I had to come downstairs. Jane, are you writing a letter to your father?
Yes, Mamma.
Give him a final message for me, please. Tell him to avoid a duel above all things. He will challenge Mr. Wickham the moment they meet, and then your father will be killed, and what will become of us? The Collinses will turn us out before your father's even cold in his grave.
Don't talk foolishness, Mamma.
Tell him to find them, and if they are not married yet, tell him to make them get married. And tell Lydia that she will have enough money for her wedding clothes when they are married. I will help her with her hats and gowns, but above all, tell your father to not fight Mr. Wickham.
Mamma, you'd better get back to your bedroom.
Oh, tell your father the dreadful state I'm in. I am frightened out of my wits. I have such tremblings and flutterings all over me. I have spasms in my heart and pains in my head that I can't sleep day or night. And tell your father to inform Lydia that she is not to buy any garments until she has consulted with me first. Poor thing doesn't know where all the best shops and warehouses are.
Mary, Kitty, help Lamont get upstairs.
Oh, if Mr. Wickham knew this terrible state, I would say he would marry her immediately. My only comfort is that I shall die of a broken heart, and then he'll be sorry for what he's done.
We may draw from this a useful lesson. Loss of virtue in a female is irretrievable. One false step involves her in endless ruin. Go along, Mary, and help your mother. A female cannot be too guarded in her behavior toward the undeserving of the other sex. Well, Jane, what are we to do? We have a mother who is howling mad, and our sisters are not much better off than lunatics.
As long as you're here with me, Lizzie, I shan't fear for the future. Papa promises to write again from London as soon as he has something encouraging to say.
I know. We may have a long summer ahead of us before that happens.
You told me you met Mr. Darcy. Does he know what has happened, do you think?
I'm sure he does. But he will sympathize. I have been wrong about that man. His prejudice and his pride are no more unjust than my own.
But it is not possible that he, or anyone else who wished to know us now, should be connected with a family that has been so disgraced.
Perhaps not. I can only wonder what further catastrophe could visit us now. Lady Catherine!
Ah, I suppose this is the elder Miss Bennet.
Lady Catherine, this is my sister Jane. Jane, this is Lady Catherine de Bourgh, of whom you have heard.
Yes. You both have the sort of look to tantalize a man. This is an adequate sitting room, considering the small size of the house. But the windows are badly placed. They should be on the other side.
I would have had them moved, but your ladyship gave such short notice of her arrival.
Do you wish to see my mother, Lady Catherine?
I wish to speak to your sister, Elizabeth. Alone.
Jane, dear, I can't imagine what Lady Catherine has come here to say, but I expect I'd better listen to it.
You can be in no doubt, Miss Bennet, as to the reason for my journey here. Your conscience will inform you.
On the contrary, your ladyship, I cannot account for it at all.
Then let me speak plainly. I have always been admired for my frankness and sincerity. A report of the most alarming nature has reached me from Derbyshire. I was told that not only is your sister Jane likely to be married to Mr. Bingley, but that you yourself are shortly to be united to my nephew Darcy. Although I knew it to be a scandalous falsehood, I set out at once in order to make my sentiments known to you.
If you knew it to be a falsehood, you might have saved yourself a long and tiresome trip. What is your object in coming here?
But to insist on having the report publicly contradicted.
Your coming to Longbourn will be regarded as a confirmation if indeed such a report exists.
If? Is it not you and your family who have circulated this preposterous rumor?
The first circulation of which I know is that which you yourself are giving it.
Can you honestly assure me that there is no foundation for it?
My frankness is not so universally celebrated as that is your ladyship's. It is not a subject I am prepared to discuss.
Miss Bennet, I insist on a reply. Has my nephew made you an offer of marriage?
Your ladyship has declared it to be impossible.
Oh, impossible if he were in his right senses. But you may have enticed him with your arts and allurements.
If I had, would I admit it?
Miss Bennet, I am hardly accustomed to being treated like this by a slip of a girl. As Darcy's aunt and nearest relation, I have a right to know.
You are not my aunt, thank heaven, nor does your manner induce me to grant you favors.
Then let me tell you this. Mr. Darcy is engaged to my daughter, Anne. Now what have you to say?
If he is engaged to your daughter, you have no reason to suppose he will make an offer to me.
The engagement between them is special. The union was planned by myself and by his mother when they were in their cradles. Is our dearest wish to be shattered by a young woman of inferior birth and no social importance?
Your ladyship, If Mr. Darcy does not feel bound by a marriage planned for him in his cradle, how can I, who wasn't even born at the time, find the engagement as binding upon me? If you have claims on Mr. Darcy, declare them. If you have influence, use it. But on me you have neither claims nor influence and are wasting your time.
Insolent, obstinate girl. Is this your gratitude for the attentions I lavished on you only a few weeks ago?
Your ladyship puts a higher value on an afternoon tea and dinner than I do. Had I known these invitations gave you right to interfere with my private life, I shouldn't have accepted them.
Miss Bennet, you shall make me lose my temper presently, and that is something I have never done. I am not used to being spoken to this way.
Nor I to being told by a comparative stranger whose hand I may accept in marriage.
Tell me once and for all, are you engaged to Mr. Darcy?
I am not.
Uh-huh. And will you promise me never to enter into such an engagement?
I will make no promise of the kind.
I warn you, I shall not leave this room until you give me the assurance I require.
Lady Catherine, do you think that you can intimidate me? You have widely mistaken my character if you think that I can be worked on by such threats as you have made.
To all the objections I've made, I'll give you yet another. I know of your youngest sister's elopement with that rascal Wickham.
You know about that?
Oh, with suitable expressions of disgust. Collins has informed me of what must be the talk of this village. Is such a trollop to be my nephew's sister-in-law? Even if you are lucky and they make a marriage of it, is her husband, the son of the Pemberley steward, to be Darcy's brother-in-law? Oh, he'd be disgraced forever.
Now you can have nothing further to say to me. You have insulted me in every conceivable manner, and I must ask you to leave this house at once.
Very well, young woman. You refuse to honor the claims of duty, honor, and gratitude. You are determined to ruin him and make him the contempt of all the world.
Neither duty nor gratitude make any claims on me. No principle of either would be violated by my marriage. The resentment of his family would not cause me one moment's concern, nor lead me to fear for the good sense of the rest of the world.
Very well. I know now how I must act. Believe me, Miss Bennet, I shall take steps in this matter. You have not heard the last of me.
Does your ladyship wish me to ring the housekeeper and let them show you out? Or would you prefer to leave with as little ceremony as you arrived?
I take no leave of you, Miss Bennet. I send no compliments to your mother. You deserve no such attention. I am most seriously displeased.
Won't this be pretty, girls?
Oh, yes, Mamma.
An elegant pattern, don't you think? Oh, what a blessing it is to be together working on Lydia's trousseau while the precious bride and groom are sound asleep upstairs.
Oh, Lydia is not asleep. She's in the kitchen, showing her ring to the cook and the housemaid.
Well, then the bridegroom is sound asleep. Oh, that Mr. Wickham is such a charming young man. And to think that Lydia was only 16 in March.
Though their chance for happiness may not be great, we can rejoice for them and hope.
Oh, you should have pleasant thoughts, my dear. Later on this morning, they're going to the village to let themselves be seen. I told her to take off her gloves so everyone could see that she was truly married.
The joyful tidings will have preceded them.
Watch your tongue, Lizzie. They're going to take the carriage. The airing will do them good.
It certainly will. The more they are aired, the better.
And now that Mr. Bingley has reopened Netherfield Park, perhaps I'll have another daughter married soon.
Hush, Mamma, we shouldn't speak of that.
Why should I hush? He could come riding up any moment in his black horse and take you away from me. Lizzie, that will just leave you and Mary and you, Kitty, to dispose of.
Dispose of? You speak of us as though we were kittens.
Lydia, although I probably should say Mrs. Wickham, says we must all come to Newcastle, and she'll find husbands for all of us.
Mrs. Wickham, what a splendid sound.
There's nothing splendid about it when you consider he hasn't a sixpence to his name.
I'm sure he wouldn't have married Lydia if he hadn't loved her. We must be forgiving and try to forget all that is past on either side.
Though I agree. Too much cannot be said on the subject.
Poor Lydia has been punished enough.
With such a husband as Mr. Wickham, her future punishment is certain.
Mama, Lizzie, Jane, Mr. Bingley is riding up.
There! What did I tell you?
There's another gentleman with him. I believe it's Mr. Darcy.
Oh, Darcy. Oh. Anybody who is a friend of Mr. Bingley's is welcome here, although I must say I despise the very sight of that man. Jane, dear, you're looking a little blousy. Come with me while I take a brush to your hair. Mary, you go to the door, and dear, you greet the gentlemen and keep them company until I can return.
You better go upstairs and tell Mr. Wickham that Mr. Darcy is here. They will not want to see each other.
Oh, but that doesn't matter in the least. All that is over with now.
All what is over with?
Oh, you know, Mr. Wickham's misunderstanding with Mr. Darcy. They are now the best of friends, since Darcy paid off his debts and bought him his commission.
What are you saying? It was Papa and Uncle Gardiner who did all that.
Oh, Lord! Oh, I promised Lydia I wouldn't say a word about it, because she promised Wickham, and Wickham promised Darcy, and Darcy told me
Neither
you
you nor Lydia are very good at keeping secrets. You'd better tell me the rest of the story.
Well, it was Mr. Darcy, because he was at the church when they were married. Oh, and he stood up beside Wickham, and he signed the register.
I'm glad you told me, Kitty, even if you had no right to do so.
Lizzie, look who's here. I was overwhelmed with surprise. Mr. Bingley has decided to visit us again. And he's brought his friend, Mr. Darcy. I dare say, gentlemen, that you have heard that my youngest daughter, Lydia, has recently been married. It was in the London Times. Mr. George Wickham, Esquire, to Miss Lydia Bennet of Longbourn. It was supposed to be in the paper 3 weeks earlier, but the editor was rather remiss.
Yes, madam, I saw the paper and I beg leave to congratulate you.
Yes, it's a wonderful thing indeed to have a daughter married. But it is difficult to lose a devoted child. Mr. Wickham is going north to Brighton, and my daughter, Lydia, will be accompanying him, of course.
Tell me, Mrs. Bennet, is your daughter Jane quite well?
Oh, my daughter Jane! Yes, she always was your favorite, wasn't she? I believe I saw her in the parlor across the vestibule. Kitty, take Mr. Bingley to see your sister, and then come up to my bedchamber. We have much to do.
Yes, Mama. This way, Mr. Bingley.
Lida, talk to that to you.
Well, we are still working on Lydia's trousseau. Mr. Darcy, I'm in just a flutter of excitement. Oh, thank you, dear. Don't you think it odd that my youngest daughter should be married before my eldest? One would think it would be the other way around, the eldest before the youngest.
I'm sure the eldest will not be long in following her sister's example.
Oh, do you think so? Well, Jane's heart is not easily won. She was very fond of a young man last season, but her affection has gone away.
I hope, madam, you are not referring to my friend Bingley. He has not forgotten her. He has come here today with the intention of throwing himself at her feet.
Oh! Throwing himself at her feet? Oh! Mercy me! Oh, Kitty! Kitty, my dear, where are you? I need you!
Is it true that Mr. Bingley has come here to ask for Jane?
Judging by his impatience on the way here, he may have already done so.
Darling Jane, to know she'll be happy at last.
I blame myself that his proposal has been delayed so long.
I take it he has come here on his own account and without the permission of anyone but himself.
From now on, he shall make his own decisions.
I'm glad. Mr. Darcy, I'm not as always tactful as I ought to be, but I've just heard something. It was you who was instrumental in arranging Lydia's marriage to Wickham. Let me thank you for her.
How did you hear of it? I never meant you should be told.
Lydia betrayed the secret.
Please. I do not wish to be thanked. I felt responsible. I alone knew Mr. Wickham's character. If I had only made it known sooner, your family may have been spared much anxiety.
How you must have hated having to deal with that man.
I only did what I thought you'd want me to do.
Mr. Darcy, we'd heard you'd arrived. My husband and I are off to the village to buy some ribbon and exchange a few bonnets. Is there anything I can get for you in Meryton, Lizzie?
No, I thank you, Lydia.
It's such a jolly experience being home again.
seems appropriate.
What do you think of my husband in his scarlet coat? Is he not a sumptuous, handsome man? I'm sure all my sisters must envy me. But I promised to invite them all to Newcastle and find husbands for them all. Won't you come too, Lizzie?
No. I thank you, Lydia, but I don't particularly fancy your way of getting husbands.
Oh? Well, suit yourself, I'm sure. Come by this evening, Mr. Darcy, and we shall have a bowl of punch to make merry. Come along, sweetheart.
Elizabeth, you are too generous to trifle for me. If your feelings for me are still as they were, tell me and I would trouble you no more. But I want you to know my feelings for you are unchanged.
Mr. Darcy, I once called you selfish and arrogant. Do you think that I could call you that now?
That same day I said I loved you. Do you think I could ever stop loving you?
Can't you?
Never.
I'm glad.
Dearest Elizabeth, you would never encourage me falsely because of my pride.
I have found no improper pride in you, and indeed find you very amiable, and do confess myself to have been quite wrong about you.
Once more I confess my love to you. Will you do me the honor of telling me your true feelings?
You have my whole love, sir.
I shall speak to your father at once.
What made you love me first? Not my beauty, surely. It must have been my impertinence.
Your wit, your lively mind.
Call it what you will. We were very rude to one another.
I've never met anyone like you. You were Miss Elizabeth Bennet, unique in all the world.
And when did you forgive me for all the cruel and wicked things I said to you?
The moment I had a chance to think about them. You made me see myself as I was.
Perhaps we'd better not dwell on what's been said. Our manners are bound to improve with time. Forgive me.
You're laughing at me.
I told you once that if I loved a man, he must allow me to laugh at him from time to time.
Laugh as much as you like. I shall get used to it. I think I have overcome my foolish pride.
So you've conquered your foolish pride and come back to me. Whatever made you do it?
You must know as my Aunt Lady Catherine. When she told me of her visit here, she advised me to try my luck with you a second time.
Lady Catherine? That dragon, I could have sworn she was my worst enemy.
On the contrary, she admires you tremendously. Go to her, Darcy, she said. There never was a girl before who stood up to me that way. She positively refused to promise not to marry you.
And when... So she has made herself useful after all.
Will you be happy with me, Elizabeth?
Yes. Happier than Jane, happier than Lydia, happier than anyone in Hertfordshire.
Well, this is a day of miracles. Every room I enter, I find young couples embracing. Excuse me, Mr. Darcy, am I to have another son-in-law?
Sir, may I be allowed to address you on that subject?
No, Darcy. You go and wait in the garden. I must speak to Father first.
Yes, my beloved.
Dear Papa.
So, are you to have a wealthier husband than your sister Jane?
Indeed, sir. I haven't thought of it like that.
Well, he is rich, if that will make you happy.
Oh, he will make me happy. Never fear.
I shall miss you, Elizabeth. You're the only one whom I could share a smile and would laugh at my jokes. I hope you have chosen well, and you have my consent to marry. I could never refuse you anything that would make you happy.
Thank you, sir. And will you come and visit us sometimes at Pemberley?
Continually. I like all my sons-in-law. Wickham is perhaps my favorite, but I shall learn to love your husband as well as Jane's. Now, send him along to me.
Yes, Papa.
Oh, and Lizzie,
Yes, Papa?
if you see any other young gentlemen loitering about in the garden, tell them that Mary and Kitty are available, and I'm sure we can come to terms.
Yes, Papa.